Welcome back to Love, Darkness Anime Review Part 2, discussing episodes 4 through 6. Yep. And this one advances the manga a little bit for this one. Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, for these 3 episodes, they cover, well, probably the rest of Chapter 1, and cover chapters 5 through 9. Yep, 5 through 9. The first episode is simply a little bit of having. This one has Haruna in it. Episode 4 of the series. Yeah, she's in it for a surprising good amount of time. She's in it for a good amount. Yeah. So this one they reveal in a flashback advents of last episode, where that Yumi tells Momo and Rito that Mia, I think it's Mea, Mia, tells him that she's actually her sister, and she's basically the same type of person she is. Basically a weapon created for killing people. And she also tells her, I think in this episode, that if she wants to be close to her, you have to act more, you have to basically add more warmth, basically. There's also in the swimming club, apparently she can't swim, but apparently Nana basically has no problem swimming at all, like it's good sports. Yep. And then we have okay, you need to cheer her up, so Nana decides to have it where Haruna, yes, Haruna's in this episode, where it's okay, let's have her use her dog, which appeared in I think a handful of episodes of the original To Love Ru series, and one or two of Matsu Love Ru. Yeah, it didn't appear very much as dog. So, and the thing is, Nana talks this dog. Yes, Nana talks the dog, and convinces her just to play with her, and she's like, okay, I'll do this, but you owe me 2 pieces of beef jerky. It's okay. And of course, Haruna is there. And of course, Momo is basically saying oh, well, I'd use this time to confess your feelings to your crush. He's it's a little embarrassed. Oh, it's fine. Yep. And yeah, basically, this episode of the following feels like it's basically reusing stuff we saw in the original Lulu series. Basically, oh, let's have it where this dog, you have oh, we had this one, and we had this other kitty pets. Basically, she just brings from the universe. Oh yeah, these are pets because she can talk to animals. And they start licking Mina, and then of course, Haruna's dog gets jealous and starts licking her all over. And then of course, Nana gets licked too by these pets. And then her phone actually summons an octopus, 2 alien octopus, which once again we have Haruna being grabbed these things to have it get basically or basically clothes rubbed up, and of course it happens with Rito as well, and of course he gets caught up in her legs. And eventually, of course, that we have Nana, but she finally gets free, and of course she tries to get back her phone, but a monkey, yes, a monkey grabs her, and just by sheer coincidence, runs to the road, and Mina is trying to save her. She can't use her powers, but lucky enough that Yami and Lala just happen to be nearby. By the way, this is actually the second time in this actual series, in these 6 episodes, second time Lala is seen in her alien attire, which, yeah, she wore that a lot in the original series. Here it's just, have her in the original outfit and have Yami summon her wings. Eventually, of course, everybody's basically brought back to basically where it was, and of course, and next to us, it's naturally good looking, and of course, well, it's something though where it's I get maybe Rito being embarrassed by it, but apparently Haruna is embarrassed by it too, apparently, for some reason. Yep. That's kind of the 4th episode. The next episode gets to reference being close to Warmth. So, this one, we have Mina find out about Run. Yes, finds about her. And mention the whole body swap thing. And this feels like another thing pulled ripoff from To Love Ru. Let's have Rito be a test subject for one of Lala's inventions. Haven't seen one of these in a while. Let's have her zap him with this thing. Transform him into a girl. And right in front of his crush this time. Last time, I don't think it had in front of her. This time it does. And this best friend sees her and starts, oh, hi, Rico. Yes. So eventually, they'll go to his house. Yeah, basically it's Lala. I think it's Lala, Nana, And of course, men along with Rito, and of course Rito has to wear this maid attire. And of course they have to hurry about it. And Haruna is like, why didn't I go skip class too? Good question. You are another woman you're one of many women in the series who got a thing for him. Oh, by the way, does Courage do anything in these episodes? Not really. You see her in this episode. You see her in episode 5. I think 4, she doesn't do much anything. She has a little bit in episode 6, which that has a good plot development for that one. Yep, so... And eventually Rita decides to simply take off the maid outfit, with the exception of the panties. Yep, and Momo's like, oh, you interested in a woman's body. And then they start doing adult things. And then it just happens to come in the window, like, oh, so this is what you're up to. And she gets on it. And then just by sheer coincidence, Miki comes in just at the very same moment that Rito turned back to a guy. And he's completely naked. And Miki is like, why are you naked? Of course, she tells Momo and then the guy of his room. And this kind of sets up what happens in next episode. We have Run basically just want to come by, well, Rito's house. And this sets up basically the adventure that happens in episode 6, where Rito and Run go on a date. Yes, they go on a date. Where, get this, okay. So, they have for a while, and you have Nana, Momo, Yuki, and Mina just happen to follow them around. Yep, not Mikin. Nope, Mina basically decides to follow around. And like, oh, they're going to do something scandalous, like have Run bring Rita back to her house, do something sexual. Nope. Or bring her to an alley. Nope, doesn't happen. And she starts feeling that she actually sees, turns back to Ren. Then, thanks to some pepper that he just happened to have, turns Ren back to Run. And of course, they go to the park. Apparently, she's basically not feeling too well. Goes on the bench. And also, I should point out, Yuki during this period of time is just walking around reading a book. What book is this? Mysteries of the Galaxy, apparently. Where the heck she got this thing, I have no idea. They also mention, oh yeah, let's take it to the school nurse's clinic. Yeah, let's do that for some reason. Yeah, first it was actually brought up in this series. And then one of the most weirdest things happens in this series. Like, is Ren going to back to Ren? No. Apparently, because apparently Ren has reached maturity, she and Ren split into 2 separate bodies. Because, well, they have this whole thing of, oh, their species are born with both the male and female gender, but they swap back and forth. And they also mentioned that their home planet, Memorized, has 2 suns, so they have no night. Yeah, imagine living in that. Like, yeah, so it's kind of like living in Alaska 24/7. But the thing is, it's not snow that covers the planet, it's a freaking desert. And probably she likes it, the reason why she lives on Earth, not just because she's in love with Rito, that's not the only reason, but because it's not as hot as her home planet. So, and of course, she basically is able to separate from her brother, and though he is still wearing her clothes, and she is completely naked. And of course, Kendro is here just basically, oh yeah, just stop doing whatever, even though they're not in school grounds. And, well, she's like hugging him. It's like, okay, everything's kind of like back to normal. Yep. I'm trying to think, was there anything else I forgot here? Oh, okay, I forgot about this one. Basically, something happened in episode number 4. I forgot about that one. Basically, last time I mentioned it happened in 5 and 6. This one basically has a woman show up here. When I saw her here, she kind of like, basically appearance-wise, except she's a lot more or less clothing. She reminds me of Helen the Flame from Kimetsu Will Be Dispatched. Probably because I watched the show after I watched Kimetsu Will Be Dispatched. Yep, and she's an assassin who's from Yumi's past. Also, this whole thing of like this mysterious master. By the way, there's no mention of it in episodes 5 and 6. So she targets Rito, and she also brainwashes Mikin to try to harm Yumi. And her prime weapon is her whip. Yes, her whip. Where she basically used it to basically shred almost Yumi's her school off the top. Basically, the front of it's like shredded, with the exception like just above here. because of all the whipping she got. And lucky enough, because Momo just happened to show up at that point, that she just happened to be help and basically paralyzes the tyrant. That's what her nickname is. Paralyzes her, and then of course hands her off to the Galaxy Police. And of course, the flashback to start of the next episode, that's when they revealed that they're sisters. Yep. But not much else to say about these ones. They're pretty good episodes. But this is interesting though. Like 4 seems like a continuation, basically going before, and then like 5 and 6 just basically rehashing stuff from To Love Ru, like runs, Geno swapping, or Lala, where she is basically using Rito as test subject. That's another thing we use here. And it's nice to see Lala in her attire she came when she came to Earth. Oh yeah, and also Haruna being held captive by the octopus again. Yep. And I think it was episode 5 opened up. Yeah, I think it was 5 opened up with, a pool. Yes, a pool. This same type of setting they actually had for the final episode of Mato To Love Ru. Yep. This definitely these ever were good episodes, and can't wait to discuss the rest of this particular season. 6 episodes left, but before I do, I'm going to upload this video and the previous video, then I'll start those ones, okay? But this next video. Bye.